For over 2 years, the routine was predictable. You would go to sleep, the sirens would howl at 2 in the morning, and you would spend the night in a shelter. By dawn, the all clear would sound, and life, as much as possible, would resume. But today, the rules have changed. On May 1st, 2026, the skies over Ukraine did not wait for darkness. In a massive, coordinated strike between 8 in the morning and 3:30 in the afternoon, Russia launched 409 drones in a single daylight wave. This isn't just an escalation, it is a fundamental shift in strategy. Russia is moving away from the cover of night to a model of sustained 24-hour pressure. Today, we are breaking down why Russia is suddenly attacking in the sun, how Ukraine's defenses are being pushed to the breaking point, and why this daylight doctrine might be the most dangerous evolution of the drone war yet. Let's look at the data from this latest assault. Out of the 409 drones launched, the Ukrainian Air Force reported neutralizing 388 of them. On paper, a 95% interception rate sounds like a victory, but in drone warfare, the numbers are deceptive. Even with a high kill rate, the sheer volume means impacts are inevitable. In Ternopil, 10 people were injured as debris and leakers hit civilian areas. Why 409? Because we are seeing a massive ramp-up in production. In March and April of 2026 alone, Russia set back-to-back records, launching over 6,400 drones in a single month. To give you context, that is an average of over 200 drones flying into Ukraine every single day. To understand how Russia can afford to throw 400 drones at a single afternoon, we have to look at where they are coming from. This isn't just Iranian imports anymore. The heart of this operation is the Alabuga Special Economic Zone in Tatarstan. Satellite imagery has revealed a massive, rapid expansion of this facility. What started as a few assembly sheds has turned into a sprawling industrial city dedicated to death. Reports indicate the factory is now operating 24 hours a day, staffed by thousands of workers, including students and foreign recruits. Their goal isn't just to build drones, it is to build them cheaper than the missiles meant to stop them. A single Shahed or Garan now costs Russia roughly $80,000 to produce, while a Western Patriot interceptor costs millions. Russia is winning the war of attrition by simply out-manufacturing the West's ability to provide expensive air defense. So why abandon the stealth of night? There are 3 tactical reasons behind this daylight doctrine. First, exhausting the defenders. Ukrainian mobile fire groups, the teams in the back of pickup trucks with machine guns, work in shifts. A massive night raid draws them out and depletes their ammo. By launching a second wave at 9 in the morning, Russia catches these crews when they are at their most exhausted and their equipment needs maintenance. Second, blinding thermal sensors. Ukraine's low-cost defense relies heavily on thermal imaging. These cameras work perfectly in the cold, dark sky. But in the bright sun, thermal sensors can actually be blinded by the heat of the sun, making it harder for automated systems to lock on. Third, economic paralysis. When a drone wave hits at night, the economy stays relatively still. When it hits at noon, the entire country stops. Schools close, public transport halts, and businesses freeze. It is a form of economic warfare designed to bleed Ukraine's economy dry by sheer disruption. During this May wave, Nearly 8 million households lost power. When the grid is hit in the middle of the workday, factories stop, water pumps fail, and the entire national productivity of Ukraine takes a nosedive. This is the total war aspect of the daylight doctrine. It makes wartime life impossible, even when the sun is up. It is not just about when they launch, it is what they launch. Russia has started using mixed packages. In that wave of 409, a large portion were not even explosive-laden Shaheds. They are now using the Gerbera, a foam-bodied multi-purpose drone that costs just $10,000. It is made of styrofoam and plywood, yet on a radar screen it looks exactly like a deadly Shahed 136. Some of these Gerberas carry electronic noisemakers to jam local radars, while others act as relay stations, extending the control range of other drones further into Ukrainian territory. Then there is the Italmus, or the globe flower. This drone is even cruder, using a simple two-stroke gasoline engine that sounds like a lawnmower. It's hard to detect because it flies much lower than a standard Shahed, hugging the tree line. By mixing these garbage drones with real strike assets, Russia forces Ukraine into a split-second mathematical trap. If a defender sees a blip on the radar, they have seconds to decide. If they do not fire, a real drone hits a power plant. If they do fire, they might be wasting a rare Western interceptor on a piece of foam and plywood. Analysts at the Institute for the Study of War have noted that this prolonged strike tactic is a direct page out of the Iranian playbook. Iran has used similar stretched attacks to undermine the internal resilience of populations, keeping civilians in shelters for hours on end to create psychological fatigue. Russia is essentially turning all of Ukraine into a test bed for quantitative saturation. They are not trying to be subtle, they are trying to be overwhelming. But Ukraine isn't just sitting back. They have developed what experts are calling a Star Wars solution, high-speed interceptor drones. These aren't the slow scouting drones you see on the evening news. These are specialized Shahed killers, like the Sting and the P-1 Sun. The Sting is a quadcopter that can reach speeds of 280 kilometers per hour. It's guided by a pilot using first-person view goggles, who literally hunts the Russian drones in the air. Think about the physics of this. A Shahed is a large flying wing moving at 200 kilometers per hour. The Ukrainian pilot has to intercept it, match its speed, and ram it or detonate a small warhead nearby. It's high-stakes aerial dogfighting at a fraction of the cost. A Sting drone costs about $2,000, making it 10 times cheaper than the Shahed it destroys. Since June 2025, these interceptors have reportedly taken down over 4,000 Russian drones. This is the first time in history we've seen a large-scale war of drone versus drone in the open sky. As of May 2026, the drone war has entered a new, relentless phase. With production targets at the Alabuga factory reportedly aiming for thousands of units a month, the daylight doctrine is likely here to stay. This is no longer a war of occasional strikes. It is a war of constant presence. The sky over Ukraine is no longer a place of safety after the sun comes up. Ukraine is now racing to automate their interceptors using computer vision, so they don't have to rely on human pilots for every single kill. The goal is a fully automated shield of cheap drones that can patrol the daylight hours without fatigue. But as Russia continues to evolve its tactics, adding jet engines to Shaheds, and using smarter swarm behaviors, the margin for error is shrinking. Can air defenses keep up with these 24-hour cycles, or is the sheer volume too much for any nation to handle? The world is watching Ukraine to find out, because the daylight doctrine being perfected today will likely define the battlefields of tomorrow.